Thank you, everyone, for being here. Richard Ricker is going to dial in. Oh, we had a technical difficulties. That's because you're both on. Why don't you get off?
I'm muted though, so it should.
All right, we're waiting for Richard Ricker to join us remotely, but we'll proceed while we wait for him to do that. Welcome to the April 19th Shrewsbury Housing Authority meeting. We are here at Francis Gardens as part of our rotation to the different sites. Welcome, Richard is here.
Hi there.
Hi, Richard.
Can you see us, Richard? I'm gonna do this. So now we can see you. You can see us. Probably just me more so than everyone else. A little less in descending, but we're here.
Yeah,
You good?
we're good.
Okay.
Everyone's here.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to our guests for being here. As we proceed through our agenda, I will entertain a motion to approve our March 9th, 2022 minutes.
Ms. Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the March 9th, 2022 minutes as written.
Second.
I'll second.
Maria beat you to it, but
Not a race.
yeah. And we do not have to do this by roll call, so I think I could just say any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstaining? The motion carries. Moving to our next agenda item.
Do we have folks in the room with you there?
We do.
We do.
Have quite a few folks here, which is why I'm yelling so that they can hear us.
Hello, everybody.
I can
Richard says
turn you.
hello.
Thank you, Paul.
You bet.
All right, our next agenda item are our treasurer reports. First is the bank account balances as of April 14th.
Healthy.
Healthy. Any discussion or comment from the board?
No on the balances, but the comment I would make, with your permission, on the check register is that the simplest thing in the world, Kelly, and it makes such a big difference because I think, I know I speak for myself and probably other board members, we generally scroll down for the ones that seem really big and those catch our eyes. So to highlight them and say why they were big and what they were for, taking the objection, if you will, off the table, made it easier for me. So I would just say that was a good little change up.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kelly, for always taking good care of us. So unless there's any further discussion regarding the check register, I will entertain a motion.
I take one question.
Okay.
And I didn't, maybe it's on the next one. The Home Depot for $7,000, is that just an accumulation of all of those things I see on page 7 and 8?
Yes.
Okay.
2 months.
Okay, is that why? Yeah, because it didn't seem like all that much one at a time, but I'll just take your word for it that that's the $7,000. Okay, then that's all I have.
Okay. Anything further from any members? Richard?
Fine.
Okay.
Ms. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the 49 checks totaling $187,268.02.
I'll second.
Richard seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Ms. Chair, I'll give you a motion for the 2 portability out check payments totaling $3233.30. It's a lot of threes.
And I'll second.
And Richard seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I should have asked for discussion, but you would have told me if there was, right?
Right, for stuff like this.
Excellent. All right.
The family and landlord check payments totaling 4 family and 134 landlord, 138 checks totaling 143,916 even. Motion to approve.
And I'll second.
And Richard seconds. Is there any discussion, questions? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to, Ms. Chair, approve the monthly payroll as printed.
Second.
Richard seconds. Motion by Paul, second by Richard. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, thank you, very quickly through the treasurer report. Moving on to our vacancy reports.
We have one vacancy at Francis Gardens. That is in the middle of Champ. And no vacancies at Elizabeth or family units.
Any visibility into the CHAMP process? The same questions we always ask, local, veteran, anything like that?
Right now, there's 25 applications that have gone out.
So that's a no.
Which is the required amount that has to go out each time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but sometimes when we hit the process, we have more visibility into where we'll land or whatever.
So too soon to tell
And some
them.
of them may be local, right, Kelly?
Say again, Richard, a little louder.
Some of those 25 may be local.
Right, exactly what I was asking, but we don't have the visibility, right, exactly.
We have not received back their packages yet for,
Did you hear her? We haven't received back from CHAMP yet. Okay.
And just to clarify, whenever there's a vacancy, we are required to send out 10 or 25 application packets to individuals seeking housing. And then once we get them back, then they're prioritized.
And the board's preference, and I think I'm speaking for the board, is to see local, Shrewsbury, and veteran first. But that doesn't necessarily align with the state. It does sometimes, but not always. And so we're generally curious from an auditing point of view of where that lands. That's why I was asking.
Okay.
Moving on to the housing vouchers, we're at full capacity. Good job once again, Kelly.
173.
And the next item is Shirley's report,
So that's high for the new normal.
but the recertification period, is that why,
That's why.
Kelly?
yes.
Okay, all right.
Recertifications have gone out for May.
That's why, okay. All right. I just want to make sure there was no issue or something.
I did the same thing. Okay, we are flying through this. The next item on our agenda, there was a Verizon upgrade. As you may know, there's antennas on the tower on the roof of the tower, and they had an upgrade. Richard and I formed a little subcommittee to look into that, and Richard did all the work on that subcommittee. I sent a message that said, good work, so I will defer Richard to that.
I think it's important to understand why we have to do a subcommittee sometimes. By law, this board cannot meet in public forum to discuss public business, otherwise we're in violation of open meeting laws unless we form a subcommittee for a specific task. So it's not that we're vast in formality, but there's a reason for that.
Right. So Richard contracted with a third party who had some expertise in this area and provided us with some suggestions.
And the suggestion was that they definitely suggested that we ask for an increase in our rent, which Kelly has done. And the answer was an unequivocal no, I think, from my stuff from Kelly. However, bearing in mind that I already retained Steve Kram with this purpose, okay, my suggestion is to the board that I reach out to Steve Kram, tell them that they can be our agent for the purposes of discussion, and tell them to talk to them and see if they can get anything in space. All right, it's worth the ask. Tom Moylan's suggestion was that he thought that they would just pay. Since they didn't, well, it's worth a phone call.
So how long-term is
Let
the?
me,
Go
if I
ahead.
may,
Sorry, go
recap,
ahead.
Richard, just so everyone hears what was said. And I know this is at the tower's not here, but still it's relevant to Shrewsbury Housing Authority. We said, if you're gonna make this change, we would like to increase our rent. And they said no. So now we're at step 2 to try that again. So now
So-
go ahead.
Help me understand, Richard, or Kathy, whoever, or Kelly for that matter, the lease itself and what the incremental rent increase is and what the term and time, and will we out of line for asking, or when does it go up, or is it in perpetuity? What are the parameters of the lease?
Well, the way you view these leases is you give these people a certain amount of space on your facility in order for them to array their antennas, okay, and their equipment. In this particular case, what they're doing is they're setting up a spectrum for future use. They're not even, this change is for what they consider to be future spectrum use. And so we're talking about new equipment, all right? Not necessarily expanding very much, but they kind of got away with it according to our consultant. They kind of got away with expanding the last time around, which we were dealing with them, without getting an increase. So his feeling was, let's ask for the increase now. He didn't think that it would be unjustifiable in any way, shape, or form. He thought that it's just, listen, you're planning for the future. You're expanding your array up there. We're entitled to an increase. So it's not cut and dry, but it's something that he felt is something that his experience is that it's a reasonable discussion within the industry.
Okay.
So it's hard to explain other than that, Paul.
Is there a logical tenure or for the lease? Like, is it a 20-year lease, a 10-year lease, and does it?
5 and 5 and 5 and 5. It goes on for like 30 years.
Okay. All right. Just curious. I mean, yes, I'm all for asking for money, but I didn't know what the guardrails were around the ask. That's all.
Yeah, and frankly, I don't think it's going to cost us any more than what I've already spent for consulting here. And we, at least he determined that we're not getting in line for anything that we don't want to do.
Okay.
Okay. So it's worth him at least making the call, and if you don't ask, you don't get.
Right.
Okay.
100%.
Any further questions?
So with your authority, our subcommittee will stay in effect, and I will contact them and tell them to ask for reports. Okay.
Do you need a motion to hire him, or no, or just because we already made the motion for the subcommittee?
I think both. I think the subcommittee stays in effect, but we need a motion.
Around. I think I mentioned that, and I think at the last meeting you authorized us for me to talk to a consultant and to hire them on a reasonable basis. So,
Okay.
There's nothing here that's going to be unreasonable.
All right.
Remember, I asked Kelly to check with James to make sure that we had the ability to pay a consultant. He did that, and James's answer was yes. So.
All right, so you didn't need anything else but my continued assistance to you on this subcommittee? Okay.
It's been invaluable to date.
Yeah, it certainly has. Excellent, thank you for that, Richard, thank you for all your work on it. Kelly, I see we have some new business.
We do.
Richard, did you receive a memo dated April 14th regarding a fish project? We just received it tonight.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
So for Fish Project 271076, this is for the exterior doors, community building window replacement. There were bids that came in, and the lowest bid was $103,000 with alternate 1 and alternate 2. Alternate 1 for additional $24,000 has to do with replacement of 3 entry doors, frames, side lights, and panels at the community building. Alternate 3.
No.
And I'm reading it from the bid. At alternate 2 would be replacement of the vinyl windows 14 and overhead door at the community building.
All right, so let's back that up again because you lost me with the
Yeah,
new
I'm
copy.
sorry about that.
No worries. I just want to be. This is a big
It's-
project.
Right. So I was just writing it down. So alternate
So I'm
1.
going to move this to my left so Kathy can see it, and we can.
Okay, do you have it?
You can maybe give her yours. I don't know. I didn't have
Is
that.
this it? No.
It's on the second page, but it's covered by a Post-it note from
Okay.
I'm guessing.
I have a big question while you're doing this. When you say alternate 1 and alternate 2, are those in addition to the 103?
Yes.
Yeah. It's more like option A and option B. The baseline bid in this table, in all 3 cases, the baseline bid starts at 103 and ends at 209 for each of the 5.
That's just the doors.
Yes, correct. That's exactly what I was getting at. There's a slight complexity around the alternates. And then in each case, to add alternate 1, it goes up by X, 24 to 56, or alternate 2 going up by Y, 42 to 36. The specific bid copy, which I'm going to read out loud for this board right now because there's a little bit of confusion, Number one is 25 entry doors, frames, paneling at the residential buildings. That is the 103 to the 209. Addition of alternate one includes the replacement of 3 entry doors, frames, and side lights in this community building, meaning that door, and one of the 2 up front. I don't know how Kelly decides, because there's 4 doors to this building, aren't there? So I'm gonna just park that conversation for a second. But so alternate 2 replaces, maybe in the very original one was one of the doors. Never mind, I talked right through myself. One of the original ones was included. So the difference between an alternate 2 is it does all the doors to the community room, not just what I'll call the front door, assuming that's the main one. And then alternate 2 replaces 14 windows and an overhead door at the community building. So I'm guessing the windows at the community building were not in. So essentially, with the board's pleasure, alternate 1 adds in the 3 additional doors of the community room, assuming the main door is covered. Alternate 2 then adds all the windows and an overhead. I don't even know where the overhead is. There an overhead door on the side or something?
Out front.
Okay, and an overhead. So that's it. So alternate 1 and 2 are incremental improvements to the community house. It seems like no matter what happens, the baseline bid is all of the residential units. All right.
Yes.
Richard, my package had a Post-it note covering that up. That's why I'm reading the actual bid.
Okay.
The question, Kelly, I would have is, do we have a total amount coming from Fish that we can?
Yes, these projects were bid out for,
Right.
so capital fund money was allocated over 5 years ago for
Right.
this project. These projects are just coming up now. We do have the money, and DHCD will supplement the whole.
Okay, so it's 169,000
Oh,
total,
look at
is that
Kathy
right?
doing the math. I didn't do it, but it certainly sounds right. 103, 24, and 42.
We have all
Yeah.
that money, right, Kelly?
169.
We do,
Yeah,
Richard.
exactly.
Yes.
All right. Well, I make a motion that we accept the low bid and include alternate number 1 and 2.
Yeah. If Kelly is correct and we're getting 170 back from DHCD, I wholeheartedly second Richard's bid with great enthusiasm for the people in this room. That's an awesome project.
I'm assuming, Kelly, that we've established the need and they've accepted that. So
Yes.
then why don't we just do it all, folks?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No pushback here. I just wanted to be clear on what we were talking about.
Thank you.
All right, what's the timeline? Once we approve, what happens?
So I looked at the schedule, and they're looking at the middle of July to start this project.
And I must tell you that from my experience of seeing the delays in doors and windows lately, will likely bring us beyond that date.
Good point.
Yes.
So we might as well get it going now.
Yep,
So I just have one question, Kelly. These 4 bidders, La Rochelle, Cornerstone, Xander, and Antonelli, huge range, by the way, and literally double. Do we have experience with any of them in the past? Have we worked with any of them? No, they're all net new. So Gary will have to monitor that pretty
Gary's
quickly.
saying no also.
So if they're obviously net new to you, you'll have to be on these guys.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, not to tell you your job, but that's I didn't know if it was like, oh, this is the same people that did the doors over at Elizabeth or something like that. Okay. All right.
But by the same token, these folks have been vetted to some extent by DHCD, I assume, to be able to bid on this project. Because it's hard for me to look at this and say why we have a difference of double the money.
Order of magnitude, a full order of magnitude. Yep.
But I have to say, unless we have any reason not to accept the low bid, then fiduciarily, I think we're responsible to accept lower bid.
Agree.
yep. Any further discussion from the board on this?
Nope.
Then I will entertain a motion.
I think Richard made one.
Oh, Richard Wade, oh, I'm sorry.
and I'll
Okay, do you
second
have,
it,
all
yeah.
right, and you've seconded?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Like,
Aye.
Opposed? All those in favor? All right, so motion carries. So the bottom line is we're getting new windows, new doors, and
An overhead door.
an overhead door here. The estimated time for start is July, but as you've probably been hearing on the news and maybe in your personal experience, nothing's happening on time with construction, so don't hold us to July, but we'll hopefully get this place spruced up for you short term. Any other new business for us today?
I will say that I'm glad that we're replacing the entry doors. Those have been badly needed for a while.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yep. Good. All right, if we have no further business, we will let the group know that our next meeting is May 10th. That will be at the Towers. We can discuss whether that's convenient for everybody. But unless there's something else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Motion to adjourn, please.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming, and
When is Bob's tenure up?
Bob's tenure was up last month. We should hear from the Board of Selectmen at their next meeting on the 26th regarding a,
do we need to
Resident.
reconvene to have this discussion?
No, I think as long as we know, that's it. I just want to thank Bob for his service, in light of the fact that,
Thank you.
Yes.
this is it, Bob.
Yeah, thank you,
Just
Bob.
want
Be careful what you wish for, right? I know. Thank you for reminding us of that, Richard. Good point.
Thank you for your service, Bob.
All right, good. Thank
Been a
you.
good run. All right, take care, everybody.
thank
All right,
you.
Thank you.